little bit of breaking news for you. It appears that West Ham have set the price for Mohammed Kudus. I'm not going to be all mysterious about it because I'm going to probably plaster it all over the thumbnail to say 100 million, 100 million. I don't normally do this sort of stuff, but I've basically had a little bit of contact with somebody at the club myself today. I'm not an in the know. I'm an ITD. I'm an in the dark most of the time. I always do yesterday's news. Yesterday's news tomorrow, basically, rather than the other one. I'm not at the cutting edge of everything that goes on in the West Ham world, I have to tell you that. But honestly, really, really good information today. £100 million for Mohammed Kudus. Now, the reason that it came out was basically my old mate Walshy. He messaged me and he said, "Have you seen this story that Newcastle, Liverpool, and Arsenal are all going to bid for Kudus in this transfer window?" And the club would accept 90 million. I couldn't help myself. There was so much about the story that I didn't like, and I'm not sure that was all one story. I think it was one tweet, but I'm not sure it was one story. I think people had put two and two together and come up with five. But I thought I'll find out myself. Did not expect anything to come back, to be perfectly honest with you. So a lot of the time you ping stuff off to the club, and you don't, you get tumbleweed back. You don't get anything back. You certainly don't get anything remotely interesting and an answer back. Well, I certainly got more than a bargain for. The precise reply was, we've not had any bids yet. We would want at least £100 million. Now, I didn't go and do a back and forth. Truth of the matter is, I jumped straight in and started basically writing about it, started talking about it, and just started putting it out there as quickly as I could. Really, I guess if I were to have a follow-up question, the follow-up question would have been, does that clause still remain in place? But I'm going to assume it does. And the clause, not Santa Claus, we'll get to him in a little bit, by the way, is the clause in place whereby people can still buy Mohammed Kudus for 85 million in the summer. Now, it was exactly the same buyout clause that Lucas Paquetá had in his contract, but it only ran for one window with Lucas Paquetá, and now you wouldn't get 850 grand from him, I doubt. But anyway, story for another day, maybe. Last June, I think it was for the last week in June, anybody could have bought Mohammed Kudus if they'd have bid £85 million. And then the door slammed shut. So I never believed there was genuine interest in him. There was a lot of talk about Saudi interest. I never really believed it at the time. So I thought, well, if they were going to get him, they could have got him then. That's when you get him. All this stuff afterwards saying such and such are going to bid. Al Ittihad are going to bid 90 million pound for Mohammed Kudus. Well, why would they? They could have got him for 85 2 weeks ago. So, but that was true, and I think it was actually Florian Plettenberg who broke the news about the contract, about the buyout clause. Plettenberg's got really good contacts with Tim Steiter. Basically, Plettenberg is the Sky Sports Germany's version of Dharmesh Chef, right? So he knows his stuff. And when he told everybody that it was £85 million, but it was in the summer of 2024, everyone said, no, you got that wrong, including me. You got that wrong. It's summer of 2025. And he really doubled down. He said no. And it actually turned out it was the case. It was the case. After it had elapsed, the deadline had elapsed, that the club said, yeah, actually, it was true. But we think it opens up again in the summer. It means basically in June or July, whenever it is, the next summer, you can get him for 85 million. But the club basically said, if you want him now, if you want him in January, £100 million. I mean, that's quite interesting news, isn't it? Obviously, if West Ham are looking to do that, we're looking to fund purchases. I certainly don't look. There's a lot of players who were rumoured to be going in this transfer window. Guido Rodriguez, but you're not going to get much for him. We just want to get the money for him back that we spent on his agent's fees and his signing on fee, a couple of £1 million. There's not anyone that's going to go that's going to bring in any money that's going to allow us to do a rebuild. And it's why I've always wondered if there was going to be, one of the big guys that would have to go. You certainly can't factor a Lucas Paquetá. It's a bit Shaka Khan-ish, isn't it? Really. You certainly can't factor Lucas Paquetá into that, that's for sure, because you just wouldn't get any money for him. So it sort of makes sense. And I think from the West Ham side, well, I believe it because I've been told it. If West Ham don't want to sell a player, they won't put that information out there. That information was given to me because they know I'm a blabbermouth and they know I'm going to sit here and do this. Now everyone's going to know about it, and there you go. But they've had no bids as yet. But I don't think he is the only footballer, that's going to go in this upcoming transfer window. I really, really don't. Which brings me to our next thing. Before I do, can I please point in the direction of today's sponsor? It's basically Father Christmas. Father Christmas! Santa Claus! In fact, we're offering you a really great opportunity. I've got the website here. I should know it anyway. It's the santaco.co.uk. Who are they? They're going to get you a letter from Father Christmas. Not you, mums and dads. You don't deserve one. You've been very naughty. I know you lot are on a naughty step. Don't worry about that. But your nice children, they probably deserve a letter from Father Christmas. We can all send him one, right? We can all write Father Christmas a letter. Do we get one back? Well, now you can, and we're going to give you a discount as well. We've got a lovely, lovely discount code. Hammers Chat, all one word, by the way. 30% off on this. It's tenner. It's a tenner. It's a tenner. And you think tenner from a letter from Father Christmas? Yes, yes. Lovely red envelope. And beautiful, constructed, bespoke. Not some generic thing where it's the same for every child. Basically, they will answer. They will answer your child. So you give them all the information that they need, and you say, little Billy, I don't know, your child might not be called Billy. If it is, this is going to sound very special to you. Little Billy, I was just about to show my age. He loves Action Man, he loves BMX. Little Billy's about 60 now, by the way. But yeah, little Billy, he loves his PlayStation. He loves his Reese's chocolates. He's been a very good boy this year. Give it as much detail. Give it your pet's name. Give as much detail as you want, and the letter you'll get back from Father Christmas. Really, really detailed. Really detailed. Comes in a lovely red envelope, nice, proper, thick paper. Also comes with a QR code. So if you scan it, then Father Christmas will read out. So, well, young Billy, I hear you like Reese's chocolates, BMXing, and what else does it? And Action Man. And I hear you like your PlayStation. That sort of thing. It's not me doing it, obviously, it's the real Father Christmas doing it. I have nothing to do with this, apart from the sponsor of the video. It's the santaco.co.uk. Check it out. Links in the description below. I'll tell you who else I think is going to be off ski. Nicholas Füllkrug. I do. I just can't see it. I cannot see a way that he stays. I think we might have a little mini exodus. In fact, the more I think about it, I think it's going to be hard for Guilherme to stay. Lopetegui has ring-fenced himself, right? Let's be honest. Lopetegui has ring-fenced himself against the chop for the moment, all right? With that in mind, if he's going to be here, fair enough. I mean, you've already seen it. Look, I'm really pleased that the youngsters got to play. Can I just say that? Ollie Scholes, Casey, bring it on. Let's have more of them. But it says an awful lot when Senor Lopetegui is more willing to play West Ham youngsters than the £20 million Brazilian kid. We've got to do something with him. He can't just stay there doing nothing. And you're hearing a lot of the stuff, is coming out now. We don't train properly and stuff like that. I'm not so sure. I'm not sure I believe all that, to be perfectly honest with you. But I do think there's going to be movement. I think Füllkrug, I think possibly Guilherme, I think Rodriguez. Wouldn't be surprised if Fanny Stings goes as well. Would not be surprised at all. So, I think there's quite a lot going on. But Mohammed Kudus, £100 million. Is anyone going to pay it? No, they're not going to pay it. No one's going to pay £100 million. But I don't expect them to. I don't expect them. If I say this pair of glasses, if I want to sell this pair of glasses for a £5, I'm not going to say a £5, am I? £15. £15. Can be no good to anyone else. They're only my prescription. Absolutely filthy, to be honest with you. I think we're saying 100 million. We probably do mean 90. Probably the original story is there or thereabouts. I think, but they have just made it up. This is clearly the first time the club want anyone to know this information. But I would say that, wouldn't I? Because it's my story. But it's for sale. That much is clear. Mohammed Kudus is for sale, and I think if you take nothing away from this, well, I say nothing away apart from your Father Christmas letter. He's for sale. Mohammed Kudus is for sale. £100 million, please.